Hey gang, welcome to TurboTimes episode number 3, which is number 2 in a 3-part series where today we're going to discuss the difference between blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Real quick, first of all, I just want to say thank you for watching, taking the time to like this video as well as share it either by word of mouth or clicking on the little share button and sending it out. So huge thank you. Also, I asked for a little bit of feedback in the last video and I got some. Thank you. And by the way, direct shout out to you. I am shooting this one the other way this time, so let me know how that goes. I do see what you mean, and hopefully that'll improve the quality of this one. And also, I guess first thing you may have noticed is I'm in a new location. Yeah, I'm having a little staycay right now. Okay, it's not quite in Biloxi, right down the road in New Orleans. And a lot of the hotels I just found out are very recently reopening. Some of them are not even reopened, mostly due to manning, not demand. There's plenty of demand here. It's just interesting that though they haven't been able to staff get the rooms cleaned and turned over quick enough. So if you're in the Greater New Orleans area and you need a job or know somebody who wants one, there's a booming economy right here in New Orleans that probably has a job for you, if that's something you're interested in, as a little side note. All right, let's get right into it. So, like I said, we'd like to discuss today the difference between blockchain and cryptocurrencies. The reason why is because a lot of people, I think, if you were like me anyway in the very beginning, actually, I'll just go back there real quick. So in 2017, I dabbled in cryptocurrencies just because I thought it was a way to make a fast buck. I mean, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know that there was a difference between cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Luckily, I got out and didn't lose my shirt. I made a few dollars, but nothing substantial at all. And it was pure dumb luck. I didn't do any research. I had no idea what was going on. It was just fun to play around with a little bit of money because I seen a lot of other people making money, so I was like, hey, I'm going to get into this cryptocurrency thing. And I never looked at it again until 2020, probably about May or so of last year's when I really started taking another look at it. And that's when I learned that cryptocurrencies operate on a technology called the blockchain, and I really started to educate myself. And so that's the kind of my history and why I want to make sure that you don't make the same mistake. If you want to get into cryptocurrency specifically, then do yourself a favor and educate yourself on cryptocurrencies. But to do that, you will also have to take a step back and start with blockchain, understand what it is. And so for me to explain it to you, first of all, I'm going to tell you that it's not an easy process. I'm not going to be able to tell you everything you need to know about blockchain, distributed ledger technologies in this short little video. I'm going to do my best to summarize it for you, give you some kind of inkling into it, but you're not going to have all the information. You're going to have to, the phrase is called, DYOR, do your own research. And you're just going to have to educate yourself, just like any other thing in life that you would like to learn. You're going to have to put time, energy, effort into it. For me, it's been a solid 8 months of quite a few hours a day, and I still learn something new every single day about blockchain. When it comes to the individual cryptocurrencies, we'll talk more about those in depth, which ones I'm invested into and why. But for today, let's talk about the difference between blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So when it comes to trying to describe to you, or at least make you aware of the challenge that it would be to tell somebody about what blockchain is that has never heard of it or thinks it's the same thing as cryptocurrencies, like I once did, it would be akin to trying to explain to somebody what the internet is today before it even existed. So conversation in that regard might go, hey, what's the internet? Well, the internet is many things, but one of the things you can do on the internet is send emails. Oh yeah, what are emails? Well, emails are a way to exchange information in a text format. You can type a letter to somebody. It's like putting it through the mail, but instead it goes electronically, and you can do it basically immediately, and you can do it from anywhere in the world to anywhere in the world. That is one of the, oh really? Can you put pictures on email? Well, yes you can. You can put pictures on the email as an attachment, or some emails, servers don't let you do that, so something else the internet allows us to do is store files on the cloud. So you can send an email with a link to a place that you've stored a picture on the cloud, giving the group or person or entity that you specifically desire access to that storage file in the cloud, where in this case they would find the picture that you want them to see. And so you can send pictures. What about videos? Yes, the internet also lets you send videos. No way. So you can send letters and pictures and videos on the internet, among many, many other things. That's kind of what the internet, or having that conversation is like. If you kind of catch my drift, you can see where I'm going with that. That it's very difficult to summarize what the internet is in just a couple of minutes, because I just mentioned a couple of things you can do on the internet, but you can stream live video. You can share your voice across the internet, across the world, in a matter of moments, live as a matter of fact nowadays with some of the speeds. And that's trying to explain that in that manner to somebody that has no idea what the internet is would be me trying to explain to you what blockchain technology is without having any idea what it is. So that being said, I'll do my best to summarize it. But let me back up just a little bit and say before that, and I've already made mention of it, but number one, when it comes to learning anything, and especially blockchain, distributed ledger technologies, you've got to do your own research. It's very simple because we have the internet. Simply go to your favorite search engine, type in what is blockchain, how does it work. You can go to YouTube, you can read stuff on Twitter, however you want. Wikipedia has great information. There's really good documentaries on a lot of the video streaming apps out there, Netflix, Amazon. There's many books, hard copy, paperback. You can get them on audiobooks. There's podcasts, and if you jump in today and start learning it, in a month you still won't know all there is to know about what distributed ledger technology is, but it's a good start. So don't just trust me and what I'm telling you, or anybody else for that sake. Do your own research. Secondly, when you begin to do your own research, come at it from, and this goes again for learning anything, come at it from a point with no bias. So what I mean by that is when you start traveling down that road and educating yourself on what distributed ledger technology is, what its possibilities are, what its limitations are, because it's got limitations. Anytime you notice yourself having a preconceived notion or a bias or something that would make you think in one direction, actively remove that from your thought pattern and approach it with an open mind so that you can learn and educate yourself on all you need to about blockchain technology. And then lastly, so I'll just tell you what I think summarizes blockchain. It is a distributed ledger that allows trustless communication between individuals and entities. That's kind of a big sentence, let's break it down. So the distributed ledger part is that it is, you have to understand, it is decentralized versus centralized. So in today's world, an example of centralized ledger keeping or information keeping is pretty much every one of the big names out there, like Google and Amazon and data collection services. There's one entity that can, if they choose to, display only information that they think you should see, or they can stop your access to it, or they can, well, it's their information, so and it's their server, so they can do anything they want with it, really. So you don't own your data, you don't have an opinion on it, or your opinion doesn't count on what happens to all that information. Whereas decentralized, there is no one entity that controls it. It's just a bunch of ones and zeros in computer space. That's what blockchain is. And as far as the trustless part, when it comes to getting your information from somewhere, let's just say it is Wikipedia. So who runs Wikipedia? It's, well, there's almost anybody can access it and change the information on it, but there is kind of one central group of people that normally do that, and you have to wonder, what are their political motivations? What are their biases? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses when you come to absorb that information? Of course, needless to say, all those things remain true when it comes to getting your news and information, whether it be from the mainstream media, or whether you get your information about a certain subject off of social media, or whether you just type it in the Google bar or the Bing bar, whatever search engine you use. It's all controlled by one entity, and you've always got to constantly be asking yourself, what is the underlying faults or biases of this entity or this corporation, or maybe even this individual that's presenting you, because it could be a professor, and maybe he didn't do his homework well, or maybe he's got an ulterior motive. So all those, you have got to trust them if you're going to consume the information that's coming from these sources. And that is when information is centralized, or something has, governments are another prime example, right? If a particular government wants their citizens to think in a certain way, the government has the ability to control the information that's presented to them. Look at China and the way China presents itself to the rest of the world. There's a filter. Shoot, there's think tanks that market to you, that decide how a certain politician is going to be taken in and reacted to. And there's a lot of money in this game of controlling your ultimate opinion, which then controls your actions. So if there was a way that you didn't have to trust who, what, why they were presenting this information, just that it was, then that could potentially be much better. And that's exactly what distributed ledger technologies are. Is a ledger, it's a record-keeping system that's all done with ones and zeros on computers that are distributed across the globe, that all work together to present only the facts without bias. And it also allows for good ideas to rise to the top. Because bad ideas, everybody can see them. That's something else about digital ledger technologies, is that they're completely transparent. Everybody can see who has made what changes to them, when, and if it's a good idea, then it'll rise to the top. If it's a lousy idea and it's a product or service or something that does not work, it's going to go by the wayside because everybody can see it. We don't have to wonder if politician A, B, or C is giving us the correct information about it, because we have all the information all the time. So that's what distributed ledger technologies are. Trying to think, there was one more point I wanted to make about that. But that's the biggest, the crux of it is that distributed ledger technologies allow for all this information out there in almost any facet of our lives that we can think of to be trustless, meaning we don't have to rely on somebody else's strengths or faults or opinions and biases or any of that to know that the information is correct and accurate and updated immediately. We don't have to worry about that. And when it comes to cryptocurrencies operate on the blockchain. Does not mean that they are the blockchain. Much like the internet or email is not the internet, cryptocurrency is not blockchain. It's something that you can do. You can do email on the internet, and you can operate a new type of currency, a cryptographic currency on blockchain, but it does not mean that cryptocurrencies are blockchain or vice versa. But what is great about cryptocurrencies being on the blockchain is that it allows everybody the transparency and the visual to see exactly what's going on with the money, who's making what fees from it, where it's changing hands, and the good ideas in money are rising to the top. Prime example, if you had a really good idea and you wanted to bring a new product or service to the market, but you didn't have the capital to do it. In today's world, you would have to go through the traditional lending services to get, say you were after $250,000, which is a hefty amount of money. But what if you had a group of people who have millions of dollars that they're really not doing anything with, and they'd love to support the great idea, but how do you connect these people? Well, cryptocurrencies has been doing it a lot lately, and that's what a lot of the different tokens are, is they're new ideas coming up because people believe in them, and the really crummy ideas are falling by the wayside. That's why there's 8,000 different cryptocurrencies, and only 50 of them are doing exceptionally well. So there it is in a nutshell, the difference between blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Blockchain is the ones and zeros. It's a new computerized digital trustless ledger keeping technology that enables many services, one of which is cryptographic currencies. That's it in a nutshell. I know I went a little bit long with that. I apologize, but hopefully that's made it a little clear for you. And again, I'd like to reiterate, don't trust my opinion on it. Go out and do your own homework, your own research, especially if you are interested in investing in cryptocurrencies. Don't do it just because you see it on the TV and you think Bitcoin is going to go up in value. Sure, I think it's going to. I think Ethereum is going to. I think there's quite a handful of others. Actually, I'll just go ahead and say right now, Voyager is a huge one. There's a fun one. That one's completely random. Look that one up, Voyager token, and see what they're doing. That one is going to take off in a major way. Look at what it's done in the past week, and it's only begun. I'm not endorsing any of these things. By the way, for the lawyers, I'm not a financial advisor. I have no fiduciary responsibility to use. Do your own research. And it starts with understanding or having at least some tiny inkling of an understanding of what blockchain technologies are. Then from there, start researching, doing your own homework on what different cryptocurrencies that you'd like to potentially invest in are and why. All right, that's all I got for today. Let's see. Tomorrow we'll wrap up our 3-part series with how crypto and politics on a global scale have merged, and I think that'll be a fun one. Then as far as me, there's really nothing new to report other than, as you can see, I'm enjoying a beautiful staycation for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 days down here in New Orleans. We're having some great weather. I feel good. I'm very tired. I'm going to get this thing done up on the line, as they say, and get some sleep. And then tomorrow, just have a good day down here. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think we're going to have some sunshine, so I'll probably just do some walking outside, go check out a lot of the cool sites down here in New Orleans, and definitely eat some good food. So I'll let you know about that. Other than that, again, guys, thanks for liking this video and share it with everybody you can. Until tomorrow or the next one, whenever that is, Turbo out.